On the morning of November 17, 1978, United States Congressman Leo Ryan landed in the jungle of Guyana, South America. He had come to investigate a place called Jonestown, a settlement carved out of dense jungle by a man named Jim Jones and over 900 of his followers. The allegations that had reached Washington were serious: beatings, forced labor, imprisonment, drugs used to control behavior, children being mistreated, and something else, something that seemed too extreme to believe: rehearsals for a mass suicide. Ryan arrived with journalists, aides, and concerned relatives of Jonestown members. Jim Jones received them, showed them around. At first, everything appeared functional, orderly, even happy. But the next morning, as Ryan's delegation prepared to leave, something happened that Jones had not anticipated. 14 Jonestown residents quietly approached the congressman's group and asked to leave with them. Jones watched his people defecting, and something inside him broke. As Ryan's group and the defectors made their way to the nearby airstrip at Port Kaituma, Jones sent armed men ahead of them. At the airstrip, as people were boarding the planes, the gunmen opened fire. Congressman Ryan was killed. 4 others were killed. Several more were wounded. The planes managed to escape. Back at Jonestown, Jim Jones gathered his 900 followers in the central pavilion. He stood before them under the jungle sky, and he told them the time had come. He called it revolutionary suicide. A large metal vat was brought into the pavilion. It contained a fruit drink, mixed with cyanide, tranquilizers, and sedatives. Medical staff began drawing the liquid into syringes, and the children were brought forward first. The poison was squirted directly into the mouths of infants and children using syringes. Parents held their children as the poison was administered. Some parents administered it themselves. Jones told them this was an act of love, that dying was nothing to be afraid of. A reel-to-reel tape recorder was running throughout. The entire event was recorded. On the tape, Jones can be heard speaking calmly as the deaths begin around him. Supporters can be heard clapping as he gives instructions. But beneath the clapping, other sounds: screaming, weeping, people arguing, children crying. One woman's voice is clearly audible on the tape, pushing back against Jones, telling him the children deserve to live, telling him there is another way. Jones dismisses her. The tape continues. Adults began drinking the poison after the children had been given it. Some willingly, some were held down and injected. Those who tried to run were stopped. Guards patrolled the perimeter of the jungle settlement. One survivor, who escaped into the jungle, described coming back afterwards and finding hundreds of people lying across the grounds, many with their arms around each other, parents holding children, families together. The Guyanese authorities arrived the next morning. What they found was a field of bodies stretching across the entire compound, row after row. 918 people dead in a single location, a third of them children. It was the largest loss of American civilian life in a non-natural disaster in history until the morning of September the 11th, 2001. Jim Jones was found in a chair at the edge of the pavilion, a single bullet wound to the left side of his head. Investigators could not definitively determine whether it was self-inflicted or administered by someone else. He was 47 years old. In the weeks that followed, investigators found over 1,000 audio recordings at Jonestown. Sermons, meetings, private conversations. Jones had recorded everything. The community that he told his followers was a paradise had been surveilled, controlled, and documented in extraordinary detail. The death tape, the recording of the final 45 minutes, is preserved in the United States National Archives. It is 44 minutes and 3 seconds long. It is publicly accessible. People who have listened to it describe it as the most disturbing audio recording in American history. The question that has haunted researchers, survivors, and historians for nearly 50 years is not simply how this happened. The question is why 918 people, educated people, idealistic people, people who had left everything they owned to build something they believed in, followed one man into a jungle and never came home. The answer, investigators concluded, was not weakness. It was not stupidity. It was something far more disturbing. It was the specific and methodical destruction of a person's ability to think independently, achieved over years through isolation, sleep deprivation, public humiliation, constant surveillance, and the systematic removal of every alternative. By the time November 18th arrived, most of the people in that pavilion had no framework left to question what they were being asked to do. This has been Dark Verdict. The tape exists. The archive is open. And if you have ever wondered how ordinary people end up in extraordinary darkness, the answer is always the same. It happens slowly, and then all at once. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, because this case, like all the cases on this channel, is about something that did not end in 1978.